So, I am going to share a little bit on how to use the Nextgen buyer persona. So, when you activate the custom GPT, you are going to want to go pull up ChatGPT. Obviously, click the link, it's going to link to your account. And then here you're going to see it's going to open up with a prompt. I primed it with a prompt just for this example. So I said, I want to start being more intentional about connecting with next gen buyers on social media. Can you help me create a strategy that connects with the right people and then converts? I don't want to sound cheesy or salesy. So here would be an example that's just, there's so many different things that you can do with this prompt, but wanting to create some intentional content is definitely an option and a great place. So it's, going to ask you for like a strategic overview. It's going to recommend, weekly content acres. It's going to give you, a bunch of different information on what you should do. So then I asked it another question. Can you tell me what Gen's biggest fears are around buying a home? So it's going to go in and give you some top fears that Gen Z are, having about buying a home. So, becoming house poor, making an irreversible mistake, not knowing what she's doing, all kinds of things, over decision and overwhelmed decision paralysis. So then I asked it, home buying trends are different depending on where you live. Can you tell me how a next gen buyer might feel about the market in Franklin, Tennessee, as opposed to San Diego? So different parts of the country. One is a smaller, area. One is like a very large urban area. So it's going to break it down. Now you could do this for your own area. So, depending on what city or town you live in, you could ask it to compare, buyers psychology for your area as opposed to, somewhere else. Like if you had a buyer that was looking to relocate or, whatever. So it's going to give you a comparative snapshot. It's going to tell you like suggestions on how to speak to the client from each market. Looked at, Green Bay versus Seattle, just to give another comparative example. It's going to tell you how to speak to them in each market. It's going to give you different articles as well that might help. And then, just a general question like, are next gen home buyers worth helping? Why they're worth helping? So again, this is just an example. You could say, I just got off a call with a millennial prospective buyer. She is currently renting, has moderate student loans and an average credit score. She has about 5% down saved, but would interested in down payment assistance programs. She's a full-time W-2 employee with strong work history. So I don't know, maybe this is kind of an average millennial buyer, maybe not, but we'll use this as an example. She's interested in buying a home, but afraid she won't qualify due to her student loans and DTI. I had a meeting with her to walk through some options. Can you help me write a social media post that shares high-level example of this call so that others watching who can relate to her situation might feel comfortable sending me a DM to run numbers. So again, How I approach prompting is I just like to think like if I was talking, like if you had a marketing person in front of you, or if you're like, don't get so caught up in the actual technical part of exactly what to say for the prompt. More, it's okay if you brain dump, if they're bullet points, if they're incomplete sentences. Like AI is very intuitive, but I like to just say, hey, I just had, this client meeting, or I just had this thought, or I had this idea. How would a Gen Z respond to this kind of post? Or, would this land or resonate with that audience? Or you can role play. So, for example, you'll see the scenario that I just gave, and then, the example is, so this is a carousel. She wasn't sure she'd qualify because of her student loans, but after we looked at her income, credit, and savings, the numbers told a different story. 5% down, steady W-2 income, student loans, and yes, still qualified. We even ran down payment assistant options, and guess what? They could boost her budget without overextending her. If that sounds like your situation, then you're not alone. DM me and let's map out some numbers. So again, there's lots of ways that you can use this. But if you are wanting to write any content, copy, if you're wanting to role play, brainstorm, look at objections, anything like that around the next gen audience, then go ahead and try using this ChatGPT assistant and see what it comes up with for you. If you have any specific questions, please reach out to our team. We'd be happy to guide you through that as well. All right. Happy prompting.